Bem-vindos ao Abaixo de Zero, um podcast da Federação de Desportos de Inverno de Portugal. O meu nome é João Cardoso e venham comigo descobrir um pouco mais sobre as modalidades de inverno. Ora, o episódio de hoje é meio especial. Vamos falar com a equipa nacional masculina sénior de curling, que representou Portugal no Campeonato do Mundo de Curling Sénior, para atletas com mais de 50 anos, que decorreu na cidade de Fredericton, no Canadá, entre os dias 25 de Abril e 3 de Maio. E para isso tenho quase todos os elementos da equipa, menos o Neil Smith. Tenho Vítor Santos, o Allan Chaves, o José Ribau, que é mais conhecido como Joe Ribau, e o João Pacheco. E dizia eu, antes de começar este episódio, que íamos ter aqui alguma dificuldade, porque alguns destes atletas o português não é a sua primeira língua. Portanto, vamos ter que falar um pouco de inglês e voltaremos ao português sempre que oportuno ou possível. E sem mais demoras, começo com o João Pacheco e vou passar então para inglês. João, you were one of the new elements of this team, so you had never represented Portugal before. How did you start with curling?
Well, around 2016, 2017, I was working with a co-worker. He was curling, and then I asked him, "Hey, I would like to try curling," and he said, "Okay, let's come out and try it." So me, wife, and I, we went out and started curling, and we've been curling since 2017. 2 years because of COVID, we shut down, and another year and a half, our ice plant shut down. So probably 2017, probably 4 or 5 years of curling experience.
And how did you find out about the Portuguese Winter Sports Federation, a Federação de Desportos de Inverno de Portugal, and the curling program?
2013 or 2014, I taught my son Kemper. He was curling in junior curling, and I was just scrolling Facebook, and I came across Danielle. What's his last name? Danielle Rao?
Yeah, Rafael.
Rafael. Correct. So I got in touch with him, and I said my son's curling, and how the process of him getting his citizenship and maybe curling for Portugal. And then they were in communication for a while, and then nothing really came through of it because he was still young and he needed his passport. So then that was dropped. In 2000, last year, not this March, but last year, 2024, I went to do the Kelly Cup in Prince George, and I met Victor's brother, Romero, and I got, because he was wearing the Portugal jacket, and we talked and we exchanged communications, contacts, and then Victor called me this year, asking if I was interested in curling for Team Portugal. Yes. That's up to the skip.
No, you started off. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, correct. Correct. It was pretty exciting. I was a little bit nervous, but Victor helped me calm down. He just talked to me, and he said, just another bond spiel. So after first couple ends, and then I looked around and I seen the skills around me, and they're like, oh, it's just another bond spiel. So pretty exciting. When I first got there and we got the jackets and walking into the arena, that I was looking around like a little kid in a big event, my eyes wide open and seeing the other athletes in other countries. Yeah.
José. Joe. Yes. It was the bronze medal game in Lithuania, and it was really exciting. We ended up with three of us playing in the last few games, and it was I think the three of us with Ramiro and my son Chris. We worked really, really well together, and it was just exciting. We felt like we could do it, and eventually we got a bronze medal, which was very exciting. It was exciting. Sim. Yes. Um, yes, the heart. It was a little bit different. I knew what to expect. I knew, you do get nervous, but they're good nerves. You know that you're going out there to represent the flag, the country, and you put everything out there. You try your hardest to do good, and to play well. It's a little bit different when you're playing in a Bonspiel because it's for fun. There's no, you might have a beer with the other team, but and that's it. When you finish, playing for your country, you feel very proud of doing that, and there were pretty good moments. It was very good. Oh yeah, yes. I wanted the new jacket. Yes.
Okay, so to answer the first question, going back, putting this together, I initiated, but it wasn't just me. It was actually Victor that initiated it to me, saying that it's in Canada this year coming up, and we should look at putting in a team. I just took the ball and started running with it. Victor and I talked a few times, like who should we get? Who can we get on the team? We had a Ramiro listed down, but for circumstances he couldn't make it. Victor wanted, obviously Joe was available. We had to convince him to come out of retirement, and he did. So thankfully he did. And and then Daniil and João came after the fact. We knew we had a core, and it's like, okay, we go 4 guys, go 5 guys, anything could happen. as the teams experienced in Europeans, that people can get sick, somebody can get hurt, so it's better to go a 5. So that's how it all came about. I instigated some meetings, some Zoom calls, just for us to familiarize ourselves with each other, had a bit of a plan. And then after that, it was just a lot of the paperwork and documentation. Having Neil on board helped too, because the organization, as far as having a place to stay, so we knew we already had a place to stay. Then everything else, accommodations, was just falling into place after that. So, so that's basically how it all happened, and we just stayed in contact every kind of month, every 6 weeks, and as we got closer to the event, we stayed in contact even more. So yeah, I can say I wasn't alone in instigating this. Victor was a big part of it as well. So, but yeah, no, I'm glad it happened, and I'm glad we had the chance to go represent at a different level. As you asked in the second question, what's the difference to Europeans? I think from a competition level, obviously, in the Europeans, it's a lot younger. They're more, I guess, more serious athletes, if you will. Not to take anything away from seniors, but I felt the seniors more relaxed. Everybody's kind of there to represent their country. They all want to do well, yes, but at the same time, there's no expectations as far as going to the next step in the Olympics or something like that at the senior level. So, and some of them have done it already. So they're more or less playing with pride and pride for their country. Where in Europeans, there's a lot of eyes and focus on making it to the next level, from B to A, and try to get into that Olympic qualifier for Europe. So I think that's what you find is the biggest difference between the two competitions. I found Europeans a little bit serious, maybe a little bit too serious, but and the world's being more of a relaxed kind of, yes, competitive. Yes, there's a mixed bag of how you say talent, if you will, in the seniors, where in the Europeans it was pretty consistent from a talent level. We were pretty much the weak link if you looked at it in European B. So, but everything else, yeah, the seniors, I felt like, yeah, like João said, you looked around after, and it's like, you know what, we can do this. We can play with these guys, being that it's our first time, and that we could, especially after the first game against Ireland, we felt we started off on a high.
And I would say, again, I have this running gag with our Irish colleagues that they are our primary rival in curling. And I just have to say thank you, because you've contributed to our winning streak. It's 2 games now. Well done. So, and our extra ends at all, it was amazing. Obviously, we here in Portugal could not watch your games because they were not being broadcast. But
Yeah.
I will tell you, I was refreshing that score every 5 seconds. So,
well, there was a lot more people watching that game than we expected, because that was right before the opening ceremony. So all the teams were gathered around that ice to get ready to go into the big venue, and we weren't sure, because we kind of lost. We were focused on the game, that we didn't realize that the opening ceremonies was happening, because right after we got off the ice, we had to race to our flag and get ready. But more and more people kept coming on. I thought it was because we were in such a tight game. I didn't realize the opening ceremonies were happening right after that. But yeah, so it was a good high for us, and we had fans as well. Neil brought a whole contingent of people from Halifax and around cheering for Portugal.
Well,
so.
and let me go back to Portuguese for that. É importante dizer que havia realmente fãs de Portugal a apoiar a equipa, e podem ver ainda as histórias disso nas redes sociais da World Curling. E foi realmente interessante. Dizer também que o jogo com a Irlanda, que eu estava a mencionar há pouco, foi um jogo mesmo muito apertado. Portugal vence por 6-5 em end extra. E I think, Alan, it's time for you to get into the games themselves. And I think I'll also give the opportunity for Vitor to step in. Again, you acted as skip, Vitor. I think I can speak Portuguese with you. português contigo.
Fala português.
Mais uma competição por Portugal, não é? E desta vez
Sim.
não estavas com a tua colega habitual, a Tony, estavas aqui com outros companheiros e é uma estreia mundial, portanto, Portugal nunca tinha participado nas competições mundiais séniores e é aqui a estreia. Conta-nos um bocadinho como é que foi isto para ti, como é que foi capitanear aqui esta equipa.
Hum, eu, no meu ver, a nossa equipa, quando começámos a jogar contra a Irlanda, consegui ver que nós conseguimos competir com eles. Foi o primeiro jogo, né, que estamos a. hum, Comecei a ver que tínhamos uma oportunidade. Tivemos à frente, tivemos atrás, e lá no jogo, mas chegámos ao fim, é ao fim, e acabámos por ganhar o jogo. Mas, e daí para a frente, quer dizer, deu uma esperança a todos nós, a ver que a gente que conseguimos, ganhamos um jogo. Nós sabíamos que tinham equipas muito fortes lá, um, e então, mas já um jogo, mas para quer dizer, as expectações de nós não era assim, era jogo por jogo, mas quero dizer que como ganhámos aquele primeiro jogo foi um alivio, uma alegria muito grande, e então, vamos aí para a frente, começámos a acreditar um pouco mais na nossa habilitação de
Tu
jogar o
dizes que
jogo.
não tinhas expectativas, mas ó Vitor, eu conheço-te. Isso não é verdade. Tu de certeza que chegaste ali depois do jogo,
Sim, sim, tu
o
conheces.
jogo com a Bélgica e tu disseste
Olha, não
assim:
sei se parou, acho que parou,
não, não te
João.
preocupes com
Estás-me
isso.
a ouvir?
Eu consigo ouvir-te bem. Dizia eu, tu tens expectativas e eu
Fala lá, João.
conheço-te, porque tu não és homem de dizer que vais às coisas só para participar.
Não, não, mas quer dizer, porque nós era uma equipa nova, tínhamos dois jogadores novos, que nunca tinham entrado nas competições, não é? E então a gente com calma ia ver, como é que o jogo seguia, como é que íamos dar. Mas conforme fui vendo que a equipa estava. Estávamos todos a trabalhar bem, para aquilo foi um sonho. O jogo para mim foi muito mais do que aquilo que eu estava, por exemplo, no meu ver, né? Pensei, a gente vai fazer o melhor possível, assim, e todos fizemos o melhor possível, mas eu acho que as expectações foram muito mais do que aquilo que eu estava a esperar. Todos jogaram muito bem, a nossa equipa, todos fizeram tudo o possível. Dificilmente a gente tem menos experiência do que outras equipas. Os nossos jogadores têm menos experiência. Quer dizer, fizemos assim uns erros a barrer, e coisas assim na linha. Acho que às vezes ainda podia calhar um pouco melhor, mas nesse sentido, tudo, acho que depois da primeira vitória, que foi uma alegria
A
muito grande.
verdade é que chegam ao último jogo com a possibilidade de seguir em frente para o playoff.
Sim, acho que mesmo quero dizer, contra a Inglaterra, foi um grande jogo. Talvez fosse o jogo que nós jogámos melhor, e mesmo foi o jogo que jogámos melhor, mas eles tinham uma grande bem, e foram eles que conseguiram, porque nós perdemos, acabou por 6-4, mas eu não mandei a minha última pedra porque não valia a pena, porque a gente não conseguia ganhar o jogo, mas acabava por 6-5. Mas hum, acho que a gente, se tivesse tido um bocadinho mais de sorte contra a Holanda, esse jogo contra a Holanda é que, custou um pouco, porque nós jogámos bem, mas acho que ao mesmo tempo chegámos a ter 3 e 4 pedras na casa, e então ele por um bocadinho que mandava uma pedra aqui, batia num bocadinho aqui, quer dizer, batia numa, batia noutra, ia para um sítio que não era fácil de lá ir tirá-la. E então foi assim que ele fez ali duas vezes seguidas, que a gente tinha uma vez 3, outra vez 4, e eu com a última pedra. E a gente estava a pensar isto, e o jogo a gente vamos, eu cá para mim pensei que era mais cedo que a gente ia abrir o jogo e ganhámos o jogo, mas tivemos quer dizer, uma pouca sorte de ele conseguir pôr as pedras num sítio que a gente não era fácil de ir buscar, de ir lá tirá-las. Yeah. Mas eles acabaram por ganhar.
Faz
É
parte, é
assim.
o jogo, como se costuma dizer.
É.
E agora, se calhar, puxar aqui outra vez à conversa o Joe e o Alan. Again, you guys got to the last game with the possibility to go through, to go into the playoffs. So Vítor was saying that his expectations or the team performed beyond his expectations, but I think we all know Vítor, and I know you all a bit. I think after the first game, after winning against Ireland, you were all you knew that you were in the fight for the playoffs from the onset.
Yeah, we
Well,
yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, we in the back of my mind, I had a one game win, but I always put it out there. If we could win 3 games, I think it would be really close to get into a playoff berth. And we were about 20 centimeters short of doing that. And that was really close. It was kind of nice, but we would have really loved to have gone into the playoffs. That would be a really good first showing for the season.
It's a reason to come back.
Yes.
Alan, you were saying.
No, I was actually I was exactly gonna comment on what Joe said, because Joe was the first one to say, at the beginning, be happy to win 1 game, but right after we kind of beat Ireland, he was like, we can do 3-3, we can be 3-3. And I honestly, I agree with Victor. The game that we should have won, and we didn't play great. We were in it. We didn't play great, and I think we kind of beat ourselves a little bit. Was Netherlands. That game was the game that we let get away, and we could have been 4-2. We could have been in the playoffs even without the England game, maybe. So it's, you know what? At the end of the day, I think again, winning that first game gave us that motivation, gave us that confidence that we can win more than just one. And that's kind of the way we felt. Victor also played an important role as far as keeping us calm, keeping us, being patient, that one end at a time, one rock at a time. And he is very good at us being a leader to guide us through this whole competition and making sure that we were focused and that we didn't get upset and, stay the course, right? So I have to commend that from the skip's end. It was, with his experience, I think that's kind of led us to a record that we had.
Well, I guess there's no better compliment than this to the skip than having his own team complimented. So, hey, parabéns a todos. And before we wrap up, I'm going to ask I'll ask one question. I expect your answers, which is, please give me a moment that will linger in your memory from this competition. You can start in whichever order you see fit.
Okay. Well, I think we've all made lifelong friends as a team. It can be 10 years from now if we don't see each other, or when we see each other on the street or whatever, I'm sure a hug and memories will come back pretty good. That's what I take from that.
Alan?
Me? Okay. No, exactly. Biggest thing is the camaraderie, the friendships that we made, the laughs we had. Even the after games and just sitting around and the camaraderie around the dinner table and everything else. Like those are the things that'll be vivid in my mind. Not only playing in the competition, even after the games, just sitting around, sitting with the other teams, getting to know them, understanding how curling is such a small community. Even if you're, countries apart, at the end of the day, we all come together to play this great sport. and then we made some friends. We swapped some shirts. We exchanged some gifts. We had some beer, and we broke some bread, if you will, right? So I mean, that was kind of the whole analogy of this thing and this experience. I mean, like I said, I really enjoyed my time. I really enjoyed this experience, and I'm looking forward to continue this on as long as I can. So
Yeah, you have a long way ahead of you and a lot of work ahead in this program. Vítor and João.
Eu acho que o meu momento para mim foi a equipa que nós jogámos. Foi fantástica. Todos os 5 jogadores, quando eu disse mesmo a todos os jogos, os jogadores jogaram tudo. Fizemos uns bons jogos. Evidentemente gostava de ter ganhado a Holanda, mas é assim. Jogámos jogos fantásticos para mim, para aquilo que tem a ver. E outra, depois tivemos uma que foi muito engraçada, que foi o Five Rock.
Oi,
esta talvez não
explica lá
saibas.
essa.
Estamos a jogar contra o Wales. Eu vou-te contar esta. Ui, olha, sabes quem é que conta bem isto? É o Allan é que conta bem esta. Allan. O Allan e o conta o Five.
Allan, go.
Well, okay. So I was excited, João. I got excited about a hit, the possible double takeouts. Joe and I both looked at the shot and we were like, "Oh, we're gonna do it. We got a hit. We got a hit." And Victor was first saying, "No, we can't." Like he knew we couldn't hit, and we had to draw around. But we were like, "No, let's hit." Not thinking it was only I was throwing the 5th rock. So we ended up hitting. Victor said, "Okay, you guys want to hit? We're going to hit." So he puts the broom down. We hit. Beautiful double takeout. And then we had to put it back.
So you found out about the free guards.
We had a little bit of amnesia there, and we didn't realize the rule. Well, I think everybody else realized the rule but us, or I think we just got a little bit ahead of ourselves. We got excited.
He made the shot.
He made the shot. It's probably the best shot of the tourney.
That's right. The only shot I made.
Olha, eu vou dizer, um dos melhores do torneio mesmo. Mas infelizmente tivemos por todas para trás. Porque eu nem sei como é que eu fiz aquilo, porque eu disse que não podia. A gente não pode tirar a pedra. E comecei a andar para trás, comecei a olhar para os ângulos da pedra e eles começaram a dizer: tira fora, tira fora. E eu cheguei ao pé da pedra e pus a vassoura lá ao pé da pedra para tirarem. Querem tirar, tira-se. Mas assim que ele bateu na pedra, diz o outro skip assim para mim: aqui é 5 pedras. As rules são 5 pedras, não podem tirar, só a 6ª pedra que se pode tirar. Eu assim, bem, depois temos que pôr as pedras todas para trás. Mas depois ainda houve uma mais engraçada. A seguir, o Allan depois chamou uma technical.
I forgot about that. I called a technical. I was trying to convince the umpire that you can take out in the 5th rock, but he looked at me kind of weird, so I knew I wasn't going to win that one. But I didn't want to lose my good shot.
Olha, rimos-se muito, os outros também se riram. Houve outras equipas que... Olha, a equipa do Canadá gostou muito de ouvir essa. Estou a dizer a equipa do Canadá. Depois o Allan contou a equipa do Canadá, porque o jogo que nós jogamos contra o Canadá foi um jogo que a gente... Talvez fosse um jogo que nós estamos a jogar contra uma equipa do Canadá. Realmente a gente estamos um pouco oprimidos. Pronto, estamos oprimidos. A falar a verdade em todos, desde... Quer dizer, assim, do princípio até ao fim, e eles ali não há falhas, porque eles acabaram por ganhar o campeonato.
É outro andamento, como se costuma dizer.
Depois. E eles então, mas a gente fez, sempre marcámos 2 pontos, já não foi tudo muito mal. Foi, quer dizer, foi uma equipa muito superior, depois. É o que temos que dizer.
Sim, acabaram a ir à
Sim,
final.
foi
Né?
e ganhar. Mas a gente passámos uns momentos muito engraçados naquele jogo contra o Wales, por causa desta coisa das 5 pedras e da técnica que o Allan chamou, começámos todos a rir, e engraçado, e então foi muito bom. É.
Uma coisa é certa, nunca mais esquecem
Sim,
da Free Guard
nunca
Zone.
mais, isso é verdade. Falámos muito nessa. A gente,
Mas, Vítor, isto teria sido tudo muito mais bonito se tu tivesses feito de propósito. Vou-lhes ensinar uma lição.
sim,
Mas não, tu também estavas
mas
enganado.
João, para dizer a verdade, eu sabia que não podia tirar, mas quando andei para trás, comecei a olhar. Eles querem tirar,
Senior,
toca a tirar.
Olha, antes de. Deixa só o João dizer o seu momento. João, do you want to tell us the moment that will linger in your memory?
Good or bad?
Well, you choose.
Well, on against England, 1, 2, 3. My fourth round, I threw a rock and it picked really bad. I was like, oh man! And I looked up to the sky and it's, oh geez, I know I don't go to church, but why couldn't you like save me on this one? And then everybody in England was watching, all laughing, and that was a good moment. And in the beginning, Victor had confidence in me to try takeouts, and I was really happy. I got 2 rounds, first 2 ends, I got all 4 rocks in play or rocks taken out.
There you go.
Against England.
Well, it was a good game,
Yeah,
that one.
yeah.
Could have gone either way.
Yes, very much so, yeah.
So now the question that remains is, what about next year?
O skip da Inglaterra até gostou muito de jogar contra nós, porque eu acho que a gente temos já bons esportistas, com good ethics no jogo. É só que
Mas não respondeste à minha questão.
não ouvi.
Eu estava a perguntar, então e para o ano? Como é que é?
Para o ano a gente falamos em qualquer coisa, mas vai-se vendo. Não sabes como é que diz o cego? Vai-se andando e vai-se vendo.
Exatamente. Bem, olha, acho que vamos fechar este podcast.
Sim.
Já vamos na meia hora. Com isto terminamos. Foi o Abaixo de Zero. Não se esqueçam de subscrever ao canal da FDI Portugal e deixar os vossos comentários. Contamos com todos no próximo episódio. E obrigado a todos.
Obrigado,
Obrigado.
João, por
Thank you.
teres falado connosco. Tá bom?